全体、敬意。
Hey there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is I, your host, Kuraan Jones. Today, obviously, we're going to be talking about the graphic novel, The Killing Joke. One of the main reasons why I wanted to pick up this book, I recently heard that Mark Hamill was going to be returning to voice the voice of the Joker in the animated movie, The Killing Joke. And, you know, I mean, we all adore and love, you know, Mark Hamill as, you know, his impersonation of the Joker. So I knew this was big news once I heard about it. And I've seen this comic before, but never actually took the time to sit down and read it. So with knowing that it was going to be a movie, I was like, all right, now I owe it to myself to actually get this thing, read up on it, and see what it's about. So right off the bat, this book gives us a little back history on the Joker, and essentially, it would be considered, you know, one of his main kind of origin stories, per se. In this book, it really doesn't tell you his name before he became the Joker, but we do see flashbacks to, you know, where he was just this regular guy, you know, who wanted to be a comedian and things weren't going so well for him. You know, he had a wife, and, you know, he was going to have a child, and, you know, he soon, you know, got into the life of crime, trying to make a better life for himself and his family. Also within this comic, one of the big events that happens, we also see, you know, Barbara Gordon. She gets shot by the Joker within this comic, which is, you know, how, you know, she went paralyzed and became Oracle for so many years. So that's another event that takes place within this comic. You know, Joker kind of just goes all out, and, you know, he kidnaps you know, Commissioner Gordon, strips him down, and, you know, psychologically messes with his head in his carnival, which is pretty darn crazy. It's a graphic, pretty, you know, book for sure. Definitely has, you know, that adult and psychotic, you know, twist to it, which you have to with a Joker story, obviously. But also another one of the great things I really, really love about this book, aside from just, you know, seeing, you know, Joker's craziness, we see the Red Hood is introduced as, you know, one of the Joker's origin steps leading into crime. I first heard of the Red Hood in, I don't know if you guys have read this, but The Untold Legend of the Batman. It's kind of like this little small graphic novel comic that just talks about just Batman's history, his origin, and kind of how he met some of his first villains. And so Joker is introduced into this one as the Red Hood, and we see him kind of like committing a crime, and Batman finds him, and, you know, the Joker falls into this chemical plant, and then, you know, it comes out all white and green. So a little bit of history of this book. Not sure how these two are necessarily connected, but nonetheless, I first heard of the Red Hood and Joker's connection with this story, and to kind of see that, you know, portrayed in this book was also interesting. And it also brought up other things. You know, we've all seen Tim Burton's Batman, Michael Keaton. I really feel like they took a lot of detail from this book and that, you know, 1980s Batman movie that we all love and adore. Specifically because if you think about just the scene where, you know, Jack Nicholson, you know, he's with, you know, his mobster buddies, and they're at that chemical plant, and, you know, they're doing their crime mobster stuff, and then Batman kind of comes in, you know, and that's how he first meets Jack, and, you know, they kind of duke it out a little bit. You know, Batman, you know, does his stealth stuff, and then, you know, Joker falls into that chemical plant stuff, and that's what essentially, you know, kind of changes his skin and makes him go all, like, naturally super crazy from that point on. But I wonder if, obviously, I feel like they took a lot of, you know, detail from this book with that movie, just, you know, certain aspects of, you know, the Joker's origin that kind of led up to him, like, going, you know, pretty nuts and, you know, totally insane. So just different parallels I thought were pretty cool as I read that. I was like, man, that's kind of familiar. I wonder if they used that in the movie, but I thought that was cool. Give me your thoughts on that if you guys see that parallel as well. The sort of genuine theme and, you know, direction of this comic, Joker's, you know, trying to make a point to Batman, to the world, that all it takes is just one genuine bad day to drive one sane person insane. And so, you know, he does all these crazy things, and, you know, has this carnival and stuff where he's, you know, messing with people's minds and, you know, driving people crazy and doing all this crazy stuff to prove that it just takes one little push to make somebody go over the ledge. So that's kind of like the general theme of this book, as far as Joker's kind of mission, you could say. The ending to the story definitely did take me by surprise. The Joker's kind of just, and Batman, they're both talking to each other, and Batman's trying to find a way to find a remedy between the both of them, so, they don't end up killing each other or one of the other. And Joker's like, it's far too late for that, and he ends up telling him this joke, and, he starts laughing, Joker at the end of his joke, and then, Batman kind of joins in on the laugh, and, they're like just holding shoulders at the end, and that's pretty much it. That's the end of the book. But, overall, the Joker is definitely hilarious. He is funny. He is, you see all the elements to Joker within this book, the psychotic craziness, the scariness, the jokester, all of that stuff. I think it really portrays him well, and I would definitely say if you are a DC Batman comic book fan regardless, you definitely want to read this one, especially with the new movie that's going to be coming out. I think we definitely owe it to ourselves to, even if you haven't, go reread it. It is a fun read. I definitely will be looking over it again. Definitely enjoyed it, and as being a comic book reader and collector, this is something that I'm definitely happy to embark on and have as part of my collection. I'm more of a Marvel kind of guy. I've been reading a lot of, obviously huge Spider-Man fan, so I read a lot of those comics and the Civil War thing that's been going on recently. But I'm really trying to get more involved into DC Comics, just to get a little bit more knowledge on some of my favorite characters, and this so happens to be one, so definitely glad I got this, and it is an excellent read, so definitely go check out The Killing Joke. Well, that's all from me today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, go and get this book. Go check it out. The Killing Joke is a great read. And stay tuned. Every Sunday, I will have a new video posted. And, until next time, guys. Peace.
The Killing Joke. It was a good novel. I give you that. Why, thanks, Pats. I'm always looking to give the people a good laugh. You're still going back to Arkham. And I thought my jokes were bad.